Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the show you have. Sincerely Accra, right?
Yes.
And you're like one of the top Spotify Africa shows.
Yeah, in Ghana we are ranked. Spotify, full stop, ranks our podcast the number one podcast in Ghana. Full stop.
It's called Full Stop, right?
Yes, in Ghana we are the number one podcast. Full stop.
Huh.
Yeah.
What do you guys talk
I'm
about?
pulling this out of my pocket. This is fact. Anyone can Google it. Yeah, just go on Spotify, Apple, and just look for Sincerely Accra, and you'll find us there. What do we talk about? The show has evolved. We've been in business for about 3 years now. And when we started, it was, it's Vox Pop driven. So at least then, until COVID hit. So when we were heavy on the Vox Pops, what we'll do is we'll pick a topic of interest to Ghanaian youth.
Okay.
So we'll talk about what are your pet peeves, all the way to, if you had, say, $10, which is about 50 to 60 CDs, that's the name of our currency, the CD. How would you, and you had to go on a first date, how would you spend that $10? So topics like that. Sometimes we would go political, like what do you think about your member of parliament, and then we would go around, the street. I'm here, so the host, who is Joseph, would go on the streets with his mic and just collect vox pops, really, from places, from church to a bar to anywhere he can find anyone, and then just collect these answers. And we realized that people had a lot to say, and it was even better because there was no camera, so people would get away with that. And our vox pop was such that we don't add names, it's just what the person is saying. So
so you say vox pops?
Yes, VOX POP.
So it's just like just audio recordings, ask a question, and they
ask a question. Yeah. So vox pops are just a collection of voices.
Okay.
Yeah, a collection of voices. So that's what we would do, and it made for good content because everyone had a different view. People would say the craziest things, and sometimes the tamest things, and then we would intersperse it with some music. And as the producer, it was my work to make sure it all sounded great. Then COVID hit, and we were like, okay, vox pops requires the host interacting with people, and this is COVID. What are we going to do?
Right.
Yeah, so we had to evolve. So what we decided on, which is the current format we have for the show right now, is we decided we'll take in listener letters from our listeners. So we encourage them to send us letters, which they send through our Twitter DMs about like a situation they might be facing or something they are going through that they wanted to talk about or get advice from our host. So yeah, when we started, we had, for us, it was like, will people respond? It's getting a bit personal. How would people take this? Would they be able to send in letters for us to read and talk about? Then we decided, okay, we are going to make it anonymous. So just like our vox pops, we are not going to mention your name or trace it back to you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we put out, okay, this is our new format, we were inundated with so many letters. We were so surprised. So
really?
Yeah, through the DMs, like sometimes I'm privileged to have access to our Twitter. Yeah, because sometimes we have oops, hold on, my earphone just
loud.
Sorry. So yeah, sometimes we have the Gold Coast Reports. That's the mothership. It's like a podcast network that we are under. We have them controlling our social media sometimes. But then when I have the time and then I access our Sincerely Accra Twitter account, I see some of the letters, and it's interesting to me, like people really have issues out there and they're trying to talk about it. So Sincerely Accra has become that space that they know when the letter comes through, the hosts would, read through it and give some commentary and some form of advice per his view, and yeah, people just enjoy that. So that's our current format.
What are you talked about like first dates? What's a first date like in Accra? What do people do?
It depends on who you're going on a date with.
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, people do like random stuff. I've seen people take people to the movies. I've seen people take people on a lot of dinner dates. That much I can tell you. Ghanaians love food. So yeah, a lot of dinner dates, movies, yeah, just picnics. It's still food.
Yeah.
Picnics, I've seen that. Yeah. Going on a getaway, yeah. So definitely you're gonna see stuff in that region.
Looking at some of the letters, how does like the youth or the responses you see from Ghana differ from what you would experience in America?
That's a good question, actually.
Or do they have mostly similar experiences?
Well, there are some similar experiences, especially when it comes to, relationship related, letters. And then the difference would be in the cultural eye with which these individuals are looking at their situation.
Okay.
So example, in the States, I don't think anyone's mom or dad is saying you have to be married by age 30 or age 25.
Okay.
But in Ghana, culturally, parents, when you begin to hit 25, between 25 and 30, parents begin to nudge you like, oh, won't you introduce us to your boyfriend? Or,
yeah,
when are you trying to have kids? Like, Ghanaian parents can't be like that. So you would get a letter like, where someone might say, I'm 32 and I just found a good job. I'm not trying to get married immediately, but my parents are, trying to nudge me to get married immediately. What do I do? Even if they are saying they're going to pay for the wedding, what do I do? Because I'm not ready mentally for that. So in a letter like that, because we understand cultural nuance, because we are Ghanaian ourselves, the host, tries to look at it from that angle. Sometimes we do get letters from Ghanaians in the diaspora who, are looking at Ghana with that diaspora lens. I remember we had a letter one time where there was a lady who lives in the UK and she was like, oh, she finds it easier befriending Ghanaian men when she comes home to Ghana. She finds it easier befriending Ghanaian men when she's on vacation in Ghana or in Accra than the Ghanaian ladies. So for her, she was asking, is that a thing or she's just going about it wrong? Because she would want to get to know some Ghanaian females and, get to befriend them. So letters like that are diasporan driven, but then you have to also give them that Ghanaianness to suit and understand that, oh, this is someone who has, that foreign influence. So how do you educate them on how to, get to be friends with a Ghanaian, especially the Ghanaian women, and how they view life as well?
So yeah. what was the response to that? Is that like a common thing, or like? I feel like women express to me that it's harder to find friends with women than it is like men. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've heard that before. Women. No one listening to this should take this the wrong way. But in the animal kingdom, I view women as cats and men as dogs.
Okay.
Dogs, and I'll explain, because you see, when you meet a dog, the dog wants to come close to you, wag its tail, is intrigued, wants to be friendly.
Yeah.
But cats would size you up. They would take their time, before they cozy up to you. So for me, looking at both genders, I view women as cats and then men as dogs. Cats would, when a cat gets to know you, it would, free itself up and get closer and all that. Yeah. So that's how I see it. So really, cut across, yes, I agree. It's between women, it's quite difficult for them to become friends, because they are sizing each other up, making sure, okay, is this, is this something I want to do? Is this, but for men, oh, please. We are just wagging our tail, just ready to pounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that definitely is a difference.